Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Just getting geared up here for a live here on this public page here in Facebook land. And I'll just give it a minute. 11 o'clock is when we start. Hello, hello. Welcome to this live this Saturday morning. I believe it's the 14th. Yes, yesterday was Friday the 13th, my favorite number. I love Friday the 13th. I feel they're good omens, not bad omens. And it's always what we think about. That's how we start this day, and every single day is the thoughts that we create, the things that we do in our day. So I just want to give it one more minute. And just to let you know, this is like a soft opening, just like in any business. You know, you have your soft opening. Hi, Andy, welcome. And so this is like a soft opening in any business. This is the beginning of a new year and new topics. I have discussed this over on my YouTube channel, Shelly Jean on YouTube. Feel free to go over there and hit that like and subscribe button and share it out. And you'll be learning more about what we're going to talk about here in just a minute. So hopefully I have my everything on here. Hi, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for jumping on. Well, it is 11 o'clock. It's go time. So let's get this party started. All right. So like I said, this is our soft opening. This is a soft opening for the year to come. And what I've been talking about is Chippendales versus female dancers. And why are the Chippendales so praised and female dancers are like villainized? Like it just blew my mind. So I watched the documentary Chippendales last week and learned far more than I ever knew, and was grateful for that experience. And so how did we get here? So how did we get on this topic? These are the things that we'll be chatting about as this year progresses. And so we'll get into that too in just a moment. So when I watched the Chippendales, I found, hey, Teresa, thanks for coming on. So when I was watching the Chippendales, the documentary, and what I found out was that the founder, I think he pronounced his name Salmon, because I believe there was a piece in there that somebody was ridiculing him for his name. And so he had switched it to Steve. Good morning, my beautiful friend. Thank you, Teresa. And he had switched his name to Steve, and he was actually a mechanic in an automotive shop. And he knew and believed that there was more to his life than just being a mechanic. And he wanted to do something different, and he wanted to be successful. And he had visions of the people he wanted to be like in his room. And he would look at them every day, and he studied them, and he realized that he could be so much more. And so he decided that he was going to start a backgammon club. That was the first industry. Hi, Scott. Welcome. So he decided that a backgammon club would be something that, would be very highly successful. And he was super, excited about it. He invested, a lot of his money into this place, and it didn't do anything. It was dead, and he couldn't understand what was going on. And then he kept meeting different people, and people highly encouraged him to do different things. And so he had come into what then became a disco club. And the disco club was great and everything, but it still wasn't doing and bringing in the people that he really wanted or was having the success he wanted. So he started listening to other people. And now I didn't write down all the names and all the things. And I'm just giving you like an overview, because this is where this whole series is going to be taking us. And so then the next guy that he partnered with, they were talking about doing a male review, right? Because women went crazy over these guys, and Steve saw that, and he's like, isn't this interesting? So the girls like all go nuts over, these men. And so he hired a choreographer and this choreographer became a partner. And the docuseries is really amazing. However, I have a friend who is a former Chippendale, and his name is Victor. And Victor Brooks will be coming on with us, and he'll be chatting more, not today, but in a future event that we'll be having online live. And we will be doing this moving forward from StreamYard so that you can come on and ask questions and engage in the conversations that we'll be having. And Victor was able to share his perspective on the Chippendale side. He was a Chippendale for over 10 years, worked at one of the most elite clubs in New York, and he's an amazing guy. And you'll hear about our story too at some point too. So just hang tight, my friends, hang tight. So the story, so Victor and I actually met because I was in a club. I'm a mom of 3. I was, at that time, I was single, but I did become married, and I had, I've been a sister. I am a sister, mom of 3. I'm now a Grammy and Nana of 3 littles, and we just have an amazing time. And so this industry is about what we did. It's not who we are. And this is what I really want to bring home to people. And I want you to know that, the stories that I'll be sharing with you are for the reason to share an industry that is very underserved and very misunderstood and very misrepresented. And I can speak it because I lived it. I lived it for 17 and a half years. I still have great friends in the industry. And, it became very clear to me that after this whole pandemic of sorts that has happened to us, I learned that there was just many of the girls and young men in this profession and in the tipping industry didn't even have an income coming in at all to be able to help them through these most challenging and difficult times. And it was then that I said, hey, you know what? I want to be that voice for you. And so I decided that I'm putting together this series, and the series will be called Exit Stage Left. And I can speak from this because I left in that industry a broken millionaire. And I had went from job to job. I feel like I've been flailing in the wilderness for years and just really didn't have the direction. And I was in a profession, in a club that we'll be talking about with what started out as a founding member who was actually the godfather of this industry, Michael J. Peters. And Michael J. Peters had this club in Minneapolis, Minnesota called Solid Gold. And that was just one of many that he had. And now I think and hope that my friend Stephanie is on here. I don't know if she is or not. She's been waiting to come in and see what's going on today. And I was introduced to this dancing industry by her. She's like a sister to me. She's like extended family. We have grown up around each other for, my daughter is going on 40. Or my son's going on 40, or my son's 40, excuse me, my daughter's 38. So for 34 years, we have been together. And she was the one who introduced me to this industry. And it was and had proved to be very, very lucrative. So now I'm not here to sway anybody from going in the industry. I'm not swaying anybody to go out of the industry. What I want to talk about, though, is what I can do to serve this industry so that when the next thing happens, like the recession's coming up, that when the pandemic was here and that there was no income coming in, I want to give this industry ways on how that they can actually save themselves from this poverty mindset and this poverty way to feeling fit, fabulous, and fired up spiritually and emotionally, physically, and financially. I have the connections, I have the ways, I have some really good friends on here that have also been in the industry and are doing very, very, very well. And so I just want to, I think maybe she's in the wrong room. I don't know. That happens. I could be on the wrong page. Who knows, right? So it's all social. We're all good. So I just wanted to talk, though, about the difference between Chippendales versus dancers. So there is a difference. And I had asked Victor about this. I said, what is the difference? Like, why are the Chippendales such a glorified profession and the female dancers are, considered all these ugly names, right? And I don't know if Facebook will let me say them, so I'm not going to say them. But you know what I'm talking about. And there is a big difference between the club that I worked at versus strip clubs. So my club was an entertainment club for sure. It was highly, highly beautiful, very, very successful. And so Victor has said it's because we didn't have like reviews, like we literally danced. And the Chippendales were a dance review. So people would come to watch a show. Like the guys would come into our club to watch the girls, right? So now let me give you a little perspective though too on our club. Our club was very Las Vegas style. Like the girls were 10s. They're gorgeous, beautiful. And the first man that I had the opportunity to work with, and you'll hear more about him too later on in one of our series, his name is Dennis DeGore. And he was Michael J. Peters' right-hand man at the time. And Dennis had come into Minneapolis to run this club. And me and my girlfriend, Stephanie, had been invited to come and see what Solid Gold was all about. And when I tell you, I walked up to that club and was blown away. Like it was elegant, beautiful. Like when it says Solid Gold, like it was solid gold. Like when you walked up, there was valet at the door. There was red carpet, like you had the red carpet treatment to walk into the building. There was expensive cars lined up all along the road. And you were escorted into the building, with a doorman, with your arm inside his arm, and he would take you in. And the second you walked into the building, it was breathtaking, more breathtaking than it was on the outside. You'd already known that there was a clue of what was happening before you walked in the building, but walking in that building was, it was unbelievable. And it just took my breath away. And the girls, the second I walked in the door at that time, everything was, there was a beautiful, really huge, big horseshoe bar to the right, and this place was packed. I mean, there was standing room only in this place, and it was like this every single night. And anyway, you walked in, just to give an idea of what it looked like. There was this big, beautiful horseshoe bar on the right-hand side, and there was this single, like, little stage that, like a little cage stage that was in that area so that there would be a dancer in that cage at all times for the entertainment of the people that were sitting at the bar. And then on to the left, as you walk in, is where the desk was. That's where the girls were that, took your money. They were super beautiful, super sweet. And they greeted you with such an air of, belonging that you genuinely felt like, wow, this is the place to be, right? And then you walk a little bit further down, and the first thing you see even before you even see anything else, is this beautiful, biggest chandelier you've ever seen in your life, like gracing the middle of this floor. And all of the tables and chairs that were in this place were red velvet at that time. So it was golds and red velvets, and there was a section, it was a VIP section, and you had to have, I don't have anyone joining me, Jerry Lee. I can't see why I can't see what's going on my live, and I'm wondering if I'm not on the right page. I think, nope, because Teresa's on here. There's a couple people on here, so I'm hoping I give you the right, yep, Stephanie, there she is. Hey, girl. Yeah, I don't have anybody coming on yet today, Jerry, but that is going to happen, and you're going to be one of my guys too. I can't wait, as you'll get to share about your journey in the industry, where you're at now, because finally, I'm like, where are you, Stephanie? Jerry just did the same thing. He's on the wrong page too, so hopefully he'll find his way over here too in a second. And Jerry is very, very, very wealthy. And so I'm going to bring him on here too to show and share his story as well. There's going to be all kinds of just amazing people that have been in this industry or know this industry, that have worked this industry, that we're going to be bringing on here for you. And just to give you an idea, because again, it's what we did, it's not who we are. And I have people that had no idea that I was ever in this industry and learning about it now, and you'll be learning about it in the days to come. There's all sorts of really amazing things that are happening with all of this. And so to continue on with my story about solid gold, so you walk in and there's this huge, big, beautiful chandelier, like I said, in the middle of the room, and right in front too is the main stage. And this is the stage where the main entertainer that's on at that time will come on. She does her, you know, it was a 2-song set, I remember. Oh, hey, Beth. Awesome. I'm glad to have you ladies on with me. And so so that was the main stage. And then there was a couple of side stages. So, and each stage was meant to keep people in those areas. And also to give you an idea of the girls that were in the club. And when I started, oh my goodness. So so my friend Stephanie and I were invited to come and check out Solid Gold. The recruiter, Wayne Chong, he's still in the industry, still working in the industry. He's actually working at a club in Minneapolis, not at Solid Gold. Solid Gold is no longer Solid Gold. It's now Rick's Cabaret. And however, though, Wayne, for whatever reason, Wayne took a liking to me, and Wayne saw potential in me that I never even knew. And the thing that I love about that moment of even clarifying with that is that we do that even in real life, right? Somebody will see something more in us than we see in ourselves. And that's what Wayne saw in me. Wayne decided that he wanted to hire me. And at that time, Dennis DeGore did not like me at all and was furious with Wayne for even hiring me in the first place. Because all these girls, you got to remember, are 10s. Like their makeup from the tip of the hair to the tip of their toes, like they had to be dressed a certain way. They had to look a certain way. They had to act a certain way. Like there were some very stringent rules in our club. So this is what set us apart from being an entertainment club versus a strip club. And we had rules. We actually had to stand on these things that were called a pedestal. So like if a gentleman in our club wanted to buy a dance from a certain girl, we would have to stand on these pedestals. And it was a topless entertainment only. There was no nudity. There was none of that. There was no pole dancing. It was very strictly, very professional, very Las Vegas style. Like you can go to Las Vegas and you can see girls on the stage, the dance reviews, the girl Las Vegas reviews coming on doing their shows topless, right? So what made us different? And that was the thing that Michael J. Peters wanted to be sure of, is that it was a gentleman's club, not a strip club. And he was very, very forthcoming in that. And I felt completely out of place being here. I felt like somebody who had grown up as the ugly duckling who turned myself, I feel, into a swan, walked into a place where now I was the ugly duckling again. I'm like, what is going on here? Like, this was not the place for me. And Wayne was so encouraging, and he just kept rooting me on and cheering me on and inspiring me. And my girlfriend Stephanie, like I said, who's on here, she did the same thing. And it started out as coming up for a week just to check it out, doing all the, just doing the things. And we got VIP treatment. Like they put us up in a hotel. They took care of us. They fed us. Like we didn't have to pay for a thing. And I was like, wow. Like that was the first time ever in my life that I'd ever been treated so special. And it felt very special. So walking into the club and Dennis DeGore, and I didn't know about this though until a long time later, but Dennis was really upset that, like I said, that Wayne had hired me. And eventually what happened was, watching the other girls and learning from the other girls, and again, being highly encouraged by Wayne and, my friend Stephanie, we well, Steph and I actually eventually, we actually moved to Minnesota so I could come to work at Solid Gold. And my intention was to work there for a year and leave. Well, 17 and a half years later, folks, I can guarantee I am a Guinness Book of World Record Entertainer of the Year, one time, a person that has spent any amount of time in one club at all. That would be me. And when I left the industry too, I had a retirement. They had a retirement party for me, and they were like family. And they really, we all did a lot of really, great things together. And the club eventually started evolving and going into what now I do consider, right? Stephanie's laughing. What I do consider a strip club now. And that was about the time I decided to exit the industry. And I had no plan. I had nothing to do. And I got to tell you, the movie The Devil Wears Prada is what really prompted me to end my career in that industry. I love that movie, and I got so much out of that. And that was when I said, you know what, I'm done. Like, I am completely done. I was turning into somebody I didn't like. I was just upset all the time, and I'm standing up in our meetings. We had meetings every single night. Now I'm standing up in the meetings and I'm screaming, you blah, blah, blah. Like, what are you doing? What are you thinking? Like, we could make and did make a lot of money. And especially for the old school girls who were there, and we're trying to teach the new girls what to do. These girls didn't care. And they would do whatever they wanted to for $1. And it's like, man, you're like killing it for all the rest of us. And it just became such a thing that I said, you know what, I'm out. And you know what, so I started in 1989 and I ended my career, I want to say 48. So I was an older entertainer too, but you know what? I owned my stuff. I did it well. But here's what happened. I didn't have direction. I didn't have the right people in place. I didn't have people that wanted to share. Oh, thank you, Teresa. Yes, it is a very judgmental business to be in. Thank you. And there definitely is not enough. Yes. Beth just made a comment too. She was actually at Solid Gold with us too. So she's another one I'm going to be bringing on later too. So she actually worked as she waitressed and did all sorts of things. She actually went to California. She worked at some of the clubs there. So we've all got some really pretty great, interesting stories that I know that you'll find very entertaining, but also to give you some really great life lessons. So I am now 62 years old. My name is Shelly Jean. My name on stage was Tassie, and I was Entertainer of the Year for 3 years. And, even still, now even 62 years old, I'm really learning what I really didn't know when I was in that industry. And again, that was one of those things that I didn't have the right people in place. I didn't have the right connections. Or if I did, I didn't look past that because my whole world was my family. So, and at that time then too, I did get married. I'd been together with he's not my ex-husband, but for 20 years. And we raised my 3 kids together. He had a daughter, my stepdaughter, and it was, it was a lot of struggles. And I use the word struggle when I say challenges, because there's so much about that too, about that industry where being in a relationship brings on a whole other new set of, of challenges that they go into the relationships. And oh my goodness, we had our fair share. And so there's so much more to being in this industry than just going in and, stripping and, making money and all that kind of thing. And for me, though, it was about the money. I took care of my family. I wasn't on welfare. I wasn't on food stamps. I took great care of my kids, spoiled them rotten. And I have no regrets about that. And I have friends and family that would disagree and would definitely voice their opinions about what it is, I was doing and, how I should spend my money and how I should do this and how I should do that. And, I get it. But my money wasn't how they spent their money. And I decided at 62 years old that there is a whole other way, right? And so I'm here to tell you and share with you, I'm going to have some incredibly amazing people on here. We're going to be, like I said, we're going to be doing StreamYard. So you'll be able to come in and, comment, ask questions, all that sort of thing. But I'm definitely clearly going to talk to you about an industry that is still going really, really strong. So what's the difference between Chippendales and dancers? There's a big difference. And again, we're going to be talking about that. So there's also some really great new clubs here. Well, not new, but my managers that I used to work for are all now owners of clubs down here in Florida. And I'm definitely connecting with them, going to be talking with them. And now Michael J. Peters, I want to get back to Michael for a minute because his story is so incredible. So when I very first, like I said, started in Solid Gold, Michael J. Peters was the owner of that club. And in 1991, there was a whole big thing going on about Michael. And Michael was getting in trouble for fraud, tax evasions, whatever was going on. So, okay, so Jerry is on the wrong. Okay, so let me see if I can get Jerry in here. I knew something was going to be happening here. He's looking for me. Hang tight. Let me see. Actually, let me see. Oh, let's see if I can get him on this way. No. Well, I don't know, Jerry, what to tell you right now. And I sent him the link, so I don't know why the link might be connecting me to my other page. So we'll get that figured out. This is going to be one of those things to grow as we go or go as we grow. However you want to talk about it. So anyway, so back to Michael. So Michael, so in 1991, I believe it was 91 or 93, one of those two, Michael had invited me and another entertainer from our club in Solid Gold to come down here to Florida. And there was a big investigation going on, and we were asked to testify for Michael. And we were asked to testify, like, were we employees? Were we W-2? Were we, 1099s? Like, what were we? Like, all the things. Well, one thing led to another. Well, in the time, like I said, Dennis DeGore was Michael's right-hand guy. Dennis is the one running the club, and Dennis is still not happy with me. Just say it. And anyway, so I came down here, and oddly, I never even met Michael. Never met him. Hey, Jerry, how are you? Jerry is one of our biggest fans from this era. Let me tell you, I love this guy. So I'm happy to see that he's on here too. Hey, Jerry, we're talking about Chippendales versus female dancers and just kind of giving the synopsis into what's going to be going on in the coming weeks to follow. And that's what we're doing here today. And so I was talking about the club, how beautiful it was being a gentleman's club versus a strip club. And, Michael J. Peters and creating this. So now what had happened was Michael J. Peters actually did get in trouble, and he did spend some time in prison, and he was banned basically, or I could be saying that wrong. So I apologize if I'm wrong about this. And Michael J. Peters did come back, and he now has a club again over here in Fort Lauderdale. I'm definitely going to go meet him finally. He's 70 years old. He's doing extremely well. And Michael J. Peters did a lot of really great things for this industry. Not only, like I said, is he the godfather, but he set a standard. And so Dennis DeGore actually owns his own club, 11, which these clubs are elite girls. Like, it's not girls and guys. It's not a strip club. It's not like you just... and I've been in the strip clubs. Me and my girlfriend, Stephanie, actually worked a couple of strip clubs before my time at Solid Gold. So I got a taste of this whole industry in all different venues. So I can talk to it. And the strip clubs versus entertainment clubs have different standards. They have different set of rules. They have different ways of doing things. And it's very interesting to see how one can be more dominant, prominent than the other. And interestingly enough, you'll hear more about strippers than you do entertainers. So during my whole time as being an entertainer, that is exactly what I called myself, was an entertainer. So when people ask me what I did for a living and I'd say entertainer, it was never questioned. They never asked what kind of entertainer. And I just said, I work at a bar downtown and we sell products. Because we did that too. We sold t-shirts, mugs, all the things. And the song Girls, Girls, Girls by Motley Crue was actually made because of a club down here in Florida. And that was one of our theme songs on stage at Solid Gold. And that was our time to come up on the stage, all the girls dressed to the nines, strutting our stuff, going around the stage, coming off the stage and selling our merchandise. So it worked. And so this is one of the other things that we're going to be talking about is the lies that we tell ourselves, the lies that we have told people, the lies that have, changed the trajectory of my family and the lives and families of others. And my kids had to tell white lies. I'll tell you a really quick story about that. So my middle son was at baseball one day. And I always kind of sat off to the side and did my own thing. I really oddly was not that great at conversations. So I really tried to avoid conversations. And I really just was there to watch him anyway and to support him and cheerlead him on. I'm still a great cheerleader for all kinds of people. And during that time, though, he came to me and he was crying. And he's like, Mom, he's like, these boys are telling me that you're a hooker. And I said, a hooker? I'm like, what the heck is a hooker? He didn't know. This kid's like 11, right? And I said, isn't that interesting? So I told my son, I said, you know what? Here's what you do. I said, you go back into that group of boys. You wait till they're around their dads and the moms. And then you say to them, how would you even know my mom? Like, how would you even know that my mom is a hooker? Which I'm not, by the way. I was an entertainer. I was a dancer. There was no touching. There was none of that. And I definitely did not do outside curricular activities with any of our guests that came in the club. That was an absolute firing in instant if you were caught outside of the club with a guest. Like, no questions asked, you're out the door. Like, it was very, very strict, and they enforced it 100%. And so my son has said that in that group of friends, or in that baseball group, around the parents, around the moms. And of course, there's gasps and there's, oh my gosh, what did you just say? And it never happened again. Never. So that was the end of that story. And so, but then after that, moving forward, though, that's when I told my kids, I go, you do not have to tell anybody what your mom does. It's none of their business. You don't need to get caught in the crossfire and get hurt about that. And what happened was I taught them little white lies, and those white lies do create problems. And so we'll be talking about that too, moving forward in some more of our segments. So there's a lot that, people don't know, don't understand, are very ill-advised about the industry piece that I was in anyway. And like I said, I was in the adult entertainment industry in a gentleman's club, and it was a gentleman's club. And again, there are clubs still going on so 11, I've heard, I've not been there. I'm excited to go visit this club. It's absolutely extraordinary. I guess it's one of the most elite clubs in the country. It's not really, it is an adult club. However, it has they have concerts. They have like amazing food, like it's VIP high quality treatment at this place. And so I'm excited to see that. And that Dennis DeGore owns that club. And without a doubt, I can see that happening. So we'll be learning more about, like I said, those kind of things, strip clubs versus, the dance clubs. I'm going to go and I'll be talking to these people. Hopefully they'll allow me to, have little conversations with them that we can post in here so that you can learn more about that too. And, that industry was an industry that I was allowed to take care of my family. And I was allowed to come and go as I pleased. I was allowed to attend every single one of my sons and my daughter's games. I have a son that has now since has passed away, but he there'll be a whole big story about him too coming up. I'm excited to share my story with him, all that kid. And we'll talk about him too, on how, this industry really came together as a family for me and allowed me to spend days with my son. And it will just, hopefully blow your mind, because I know it did mine. And so these are all the things that we'll be talking about moving forward. And so I'm so looking forward to having you on this journey with me. And it's been a big, big deal to really decide to step up and come into this industry and to talk about the things that hold us back or what move us forward. And I'm excited to share with you the people that have made it and that are doing extremely, extremely well. Oh, thank you, Stephanie. Yes, I definitely thought I was living my truth and really realized that I haven't been. And it's the lies that we've been told. So in exit stage left, that's exactly what we'll be doing. We're going to be talking about the truths, the ugly, the good, the bad, the ugly, and what we can do to move forward in our lives so that you can continue to keep moving forward with your families. So if you'd like, and I'd love for you to, is that this video will stay here in this space, but I'm also placing it on my YouTube channel, which is at Shelly Jean. So please do go there, like and subscribe. And we will be doing this every Saturday morning at 11. Where am I at? Eastern. I'm in Florida. I'm from Minnesota, obviously, and I keep thinking I'm Central Time and I'm on Eastern Time, so I kind of lose myself on that. So there's going to be, again, we're going to have a lot of talk about a lot of different things. Man, I really strayed from my notes, but you know what? I just believe that where I'm at, faith is what has me where I'm at, and that faith has put the words on my mouth to talk with you today about these very things. So thank you all for jumping on with me. We'll try to keep it down. We'll be going like an hour at most times, just so you know, but I'll try to keep it down to at least a half hour for you, because I know your time is valuable. It's Saturday. And I chose this time too, though, for this industry, because of course they work nights. And 11 is even fairly early for them. I'm sure most don't even really get motivated till 1 or so in the afternoon. But we're going to pick this time for now, and then we'll change it up as we go and see what is a good fit. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. And I'm so looking forward to sharing these stories on Chippendales versus female dancers. And again, exit stage left, where to go from here. You don't have to leave the industry like I did, a broken millionaire without feeling that there's possibilities, because there are a gazillion possibilities. And I definitely, like I said, have the connections, I have the way, and I can definitely be able to offer you this with goals, financial support. We're going to be talking and also about breast implants, what we do to change, what we need to for this industry. You'll learn more about that. That's a whole other story too. So we have all these wonderful things that we'll get to share with you, and I'm so excited about it. And again, like I said, I appreciate you. Love you that you're in this journey with me, and I'll see you next Saturday morning, 11 Eastern, right here. And I'll make sure people like Jerry get on the right page so that they can come in, and my friend Victor, and come in and chat with us. So thank you guys. Have a great Saturday. Love you. Bye.